Welcome back. We're back out on the kayak. I was just thinking this morning, I haven't open ocean fished in over, it's almost like 2.5 months now. I haven't been out this whole year, 2023. So today, we're back out on the bay again. We're still not open ocean fishing, and it's because the weather has been really bad. There's been a few open days, but it just hasn't lined up with my schedule. And also the open ocean fishing right now, there's not really much to fish for. Salmon season's closed. Halibut is just like, would probably be a futile effort. There's just not that many willing biters out there. And what else? Rockfish season's closed. You could go for crab. If I did go out, that's probably what I would do. But obviously we're not doing that today. We're looking for halibut. San Francisco Bay, still really early in the season, but if you've been following along, there's some halibut out here that have been biting, and I've actually started a challenge this year. My challenge is to catch one legal keeper halibut every month of the year. I got lucky, got one in January, got one again in February, and now it's March. Haven't crossed March off yet, so hopefully we can do that today. I'm gonna start off with this little jerkbait right here on my way out, just to see if I happen to pass by something before I get to the juice zone. Once I get to the juice zone, then I'm gonna start dropping down some frozen herring and fishing for real. But I talked a little bit about my philosophy as far as jerkbait versus herring and other baits for trolling for halibut in San Francisco Bay. I did that on my Patreon if you guys are interested, and I went into way more detail on my Patreon, so if you're interested, check that out. But essentially I can go faster with this jerkbait and still get a good action on it. So as I'm kind of going out to the spot where I think the real fishing is going to start, I'm just going to drop this down, and maybe if I get lucky I'll pass by a hungry halibut, or maybe we can strike bass or whatever, just see what's down there. So that's what's on tap for now. See what happens. And I don't feel super confident with the jerkbait because it's so early and the water's a little cold right now. I just feel like it's going to be moving too fast for these halibut, but it doesn't hurt to try. Alright, no luck on that plug, so it's time to slow down a bit, drop a herring in. Some frozen herring that I cast netted myself. So all I'm using here is a little trap rig. I don't use any flashers or anything. Some people do. I don't know, some people like them a little bit better. Personally, I try to keep it a little more simple. But yeah, all this trap rig, this front hook here slides, like the line will slide through it. If you want to know how to tie that, I have an old video way back in the young years of my channel on how to tie that one. You can find it in the archives. But anyways, that's it. Just a little bend there to make it roll. Slow down a bit. I'm gonna turn, make sure it's rolling nice the way we want it to. Make sure my drag's good. I'm going to test a few things today. So I'm going to test the size of the bend. And this one has just a small bend. I'm going to put down my other rod here and I'll put a little bit bigger bend on that one. Like, some people like to drag the bottom. Some people like to bounce off the bottom. And personally, I like to skim right on top of the bottom. Maybe hit the bottom every once in a while. All personal preference. I think all of them work. Probably doesn't make that much of a difference. Whatever you have confidence in. Alright, that one's down. I'm going to switch this one out to a herring, put this one down, and now we're for real fishing. Oh, I didn't mention also, there's supposed to be a bunch of YouTube guys out here. Matt's, Philosophy D, they're both on Matt's boat. And then Nick Fish is here, he's taking out some clients. And then I think Ish and June. Ish used to be a YouTuber, now he's kind of like a retired YouTuber. But I didn't see either of those two at the dock, so I think they're getting a little bit of a lead start. Crispy Fish was actually going to join us as well, but he had some other plans, couldn't make it. So it's going to be a YouTube party out here. I see Matt's up here. I haven't seen them hook up yet, but maybe they've caught one. I haven't really been watching that closely. So yeah, like I said, this one I'm going to put a bigger bend on it, see if it makes a difference. Personally, I think just depends on the day. Some days the fish want a slower roll, sometimes they want a bigger roll, sometimes they want a quicker roll. So yeah, bigger bend on that one. See how that rolls. Yep. There's definitely a different roll than this one, so whichever one gets bit, we'll try to match that. Test it out here in the morning, see which one works. and then try to replicate it once we figure out what's working. Bait check. Full update. 9:15, so this is right at the top of the tide. So if my theory is correct, we should hit a bite window here in the next hour or so. But so far, no action. We got the same baits that I started with on here. And yeah, really not much to report, I guess. Sun just poked out, it's warming up a little bit. That might help as well. Get things going. But definitely not giving up hope. Like I said, this turn of the tide is oftentimes where I think the bite starts to get good. So I'm trolling through my good area right now, testing that theory. And so far, I've talked to a few other guys and just heard on the radio. Seems like nobody's really having any luck. So I don't think it's necessarily the spot. I think the fish just aren't on the bite yet. But hopefully, with the turn of the tide, that'll all change here pretty soon. Got him. Got him. Got him. That's a halibut. Sure. Yep, that's a halibut. Just as I suspected, that bite window. It's now 9:30, so about 15 minutes after the tide change. Let's see what caliber of fish we're looking at here. Pretty sure it's the right species. I don't know about the size. We're gonna find out here in a second. Big head shakes. Oh, big head shakes. And pretty sure that's a keeper. Yeah, that's a keeper. I'm pretty sure it's a keeper, but I'm not like 100%. Pretty sure it's like 24-inch. All right, just like that. Grab him. Finally, got one to go. Got another, look at this. Ooh. Mouth closed, oh yeah, easy, 24 inches. Show him off to the camera, nice California halibut. White on one side, brown on the other. That's a nice one, nice eater fish, about 24 inches. So they basically just sit on the bottom, you know, the sandy floor, muddy floor, and then when unsuspecting prey swims over the top, boom, they just come up, ambush them before they know what's coming. And this one has, I don't know if you guys can see that, it's got another tail sticking out of the mouth there. Some kind of fish, I'm trying to get it out, but it's like stuck in there. Here it comes, there it is. I think that's like a mudsucker or something. It's pretty well digested though. All right, put them on the stringer, get our lines back in. Fish number one, that's March halibut number one right there. So check that one off the list. One in the box. Oh, almost forgot. That was the herring with the wider roll. So one fish doesn't mean it's a pattern yet, but that is one data point that we have. 1 point for the wider roll. So we're going to do that again on this side. And we're also going to circle back around. A lot of times these halibut will group up in one area. So where there's one, sometimes you can find another one. You know, while we're out here trolling, let me just do a little kayak update. It's been a while. I mean, if you watch the channel for a long time, you already know not much has changed, but I am on an Old Town Sportsman Autopilot 120. So it's a 12-foot kayak. It's got this Minn Kota trolling motor that's in my opinion, like game changer. This is the main reason why I use this kayak. And it's powered by 100 amp hour 12 volt lithium ion battery. And there's two different batteries you can use for this kayak, or two different styles of batteries you can use. There's several different brands. One is a lead acid battery and one is a lithium ion battery. And the differences between the two, I mean, there's probably more intricate differences, but the main differences are the lead acid battery is, one, it's cheaper. Depending on which brand you go with, it's probably about a third, somewhere around a third of the cost of a lithium ion battery. And then also it's heavier, it's about twice the weight. And then the lithium ion battery, obviously it's cheaper, it's more expensive, it's lighter, and then it also has a longer lifespan as far as I know. My theory behind the battery is if I get, you know, a battery to power this kayak, I want the battery to be a really good battery. So I kind of went with one of the more expensive but also longer lasting batteries, and that's a Dakota Lithium 100 amp hour 12 volt marine deep cycle whatever battery for this kayak. I can leave a link in the description. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but anyways, a lot of people have asked what kind of battery I use. So I like that it's lighter, and then I also like that I don't have to worry too much about the charge. I've trolled salmon, which is like probably the most labor intensive or battery sucking type of fishing that I do, and I've trolled for salmon for like I think 8 hours and never ran out of battery. Not once have I ever ran out of battery, actually. I don't even know 100% how long it'll last, but I just know it lasts me pretty much the whole day if I needed to. So yeah, I know that brand and that style of batteries, one of the more expensive ones, but I mean, I'm fishing all the time, and truthfully, I feel a little bit more safe using it because it's a little bit more of a reliable battery. And then the kayak itself, I really enjoy fishing off this kayak. I mean, full disclosure, Old Town sent me this kayak, and they've been really good to me in keeping things running. You know, I take it out in the ocean, surf launch, you know, salt water everywhere, sand, all that stuff, and it's really, in my opinion, performed fairly well. I mean, I've had to change a few things, like I had to swap out some of the connectors, and then one of the cords on the inside went out at one point. I had to, you know, replace that and get it back up and running. But honestly, I mean, I'm not a mechanic. I don't know that much about fixing up stuff and wiring and all that stuff, and if I was able to fix it, I'm sure most of you back at home could do that too. So really, it's been a great kayak for me. The one thing I will say is it's a little bit heavy, so transporting it, moving it around is a little bit difficult, especially if you're car topping like I do. Honestly, it's much easier if you have two people, but if you're traveling solo, it's a little bit of a pain to move around. But other than that, I mean, it's been really good. The other thing is the cost. I mean, it's probably one of the more expensive, if not the most expensive kayak you can find out there, just because it's got that motor and everything else on it. But yeah, it's been a great kayak. If you're interested, I always leave a link to the exact kayak that I have in the video description. You're always welcome to check that out, obviously. Yeah, just a little kayak update. I know it's been a while since I've done that, so. But anyways, yeah, just a little update. It's now 10:30, so it's been about an hour since my last bite. I thought maybe the bite window is opening, but honestly, that's not seeming like it's the case. The one nice thing is the sun just came back out. We were in some clouds for a little while, so I think this water might be heating up a little bit more once again. So maybe, just maybe if we're lucky, the halibut will kind of wake up with that warming water, kind of look for something to eat, and hopefully when that happens, my herring goes right over the top of them and kind of perk up, boom, come up and get it. But I don't know, I only have about an hour left to fish. I gotta head out a little bit early today. I'm actually flying out of town, unfortunately not for a fishing trip this time, just to go visit some family. Well, I guess it's not unfortunate, but unfortunate for all of the viewers back at home. Unfortunately, in terms of the content, the fishing channel, there won't be any fishing adventures today, at least. But I'm hoping to do some soon. I'm actually planning to do a road trip in the next couple weeks, so that should be coming to the channel very soon. We've just really been hit with really bad weather as of late, so honestly, it's been like 1 to 2 fishable days here and there, so I've just kind of been getting out when I can, and then basically just hunkering down at home when I can't. And you know, I've been taking care of some back end things, doing some taxes. I did the merch. While we're at it, might as well plug the merch one more time. This Direct Fishing hat, I really like how the hat's turned out. I really like the design. One more shout out to Chloe for helping me out with that. But yeah, anyways, I've been doing the merch. What else did I do? Just kind of taking care of all. Oh, I serviced my fishing gear, kind of organize some of my fishing stuff, kind of the stuff that you do that you don't really want to do, but at this point there's no fishing possible, so I might as well take care of that now while so that it's good to go when the fishing does get good. And yeah, the fishing season is kind of in limbo right now. I mean, I'm sure we'll get more updates as, you know, get closer to like salmon season, rockfish season, stuff like that, but as of now it's not a sure thing. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe some people out there know, but personally I don't know how the salmon season can go. I don't even know if we're gonna have a salmon season. And the rockfish season is kind of all messed up for kayak anglers, at least, because the shallow water stuff is they're putting a halt on that for at least the beginning of the season, I think. So yeah, stay tuned for that, I guess. I'm not really sure what's gonna happen, but halibut, as far as I know, is staying as is. So maybe more halibut fishing to come on the channel. TBD, I guess, depending on how things open up as far as salmon and all that other stuff go. But anyways, it's just kind of a kayak update, life update, fishing update, and now we'll focus up. I want to get one more before we go, hopefully. Got about an hour left. See if we can make it happen. Yeah. Actually, get him. It's always funny when you're talking to a buddy and then in mid-conversation, you just like drop the phone and you just know it's just full focus went to the fish. Yep, that's a bite. Yep, fish on. Oh yeah. Hallie. Haha, literally on my way in. I just made the turn to go back towards the harbor. And right on the end of that turn, we got another willing contributor to the video. If you caught halibut before, you can they just have this really distinct head shake compared to really any other fish that I've caught before. It's just so different. And it's like a big like thump, but like there's like recoil on it. And I think it's because they swim, you know, flat like this. It's still different from normal fish swimming sideways. This one feels heavier. Let's see. It's coming up. Coming up. Ooh, that's definitely a keeper. Definitely a keeper. Quick tutorial on gaffing a halibut. So, obviously, first step, you want to make sure it's a keeper. You never want to gaff a fish if you're unsure if it's a keeper or not, because the survival rate is like basically 0. But then when the halibut comes up, it's flat like this, right? So it's got 2 A's on the top of the head. You've seen a halibut before. And there's a top side and a bottom side. So like the bottom side is like, if it was like a regular fish and it was swimming, you know, straight up and down, the bottom side is like, I don't know how to describe it, but basically you can just tell there's the top and then the bottom, basically where the bottom jaw comes up and down. This side closest to the kayak, that's the bottom. And you want to try to get them right behind the gill plate on the bottom side. So like basically where the gut is, that's where you want the hook to go through them. And halibut are actually one of the easier fish to gaff. So they're flat, so just get them like that. And then if you get them in the right spot there, they pretty much just go limp. Like you see, he's not flopping around at all. If you get them in the head or like on the top side here or closer to the tail, then they'll flop all over the place and go wild. But when you get them in the right spot, basically it immobilizes them. And then this next thing is you don't want to put them flat on the bottom of the kayak or on the bottom of your boat, because once you drop them, then they start flopping around. So first things first, while I still have a hold of him and he's in the air, I'll put him on the stringer. Once you get them on the stringer, then they can flop around pretty much as they want. They're not going to go anywhere. All right, pop that out, just like so. Another little safety tip for the gaff, I like to keep a tennis ball over the point of the gaff, because I have gaffed myself in the hand before one time. That didn't feel good at all. So Always make sure to keep that tennis ball on there. And then now that we have them secure, now we can take the hook out. One was pinned real good. All right, I think that's my biggest halibut of the year so far. Not a huge one by any means, but he's probably like 26 or 20, 25, 26 inches. We'll measure him. 26. My biggest one of the year so far. A lot of shaker, or actually I haven't caught a single shaker yet, but I've caught all of them, I guess, in the 23 to 24 inch. I think all of my fish. Kind of a small range there, but just so happens to be that this one, a couple inches bigger. All right, well, that's gonna wrap it up for today. Once again, thank you guys for watching. Man, it was a little bit of a grind today, actually. It wasn't like before. Before, when we were catching fish, it was like boom, boom, boom right away and then dead for most of the day. But it seemed like the bites today were just all spread out, just, you know, super random. Nick had one like first thing in the morning, and then I had one in the middle of the day, and then we got that nice one right at the end. So I don't really know what the deal is. A little bit off the pattern, but that's fishing. So yeah, a little bit of a tough day, but happy to grind it out and get a couple. I mean, I've been kind of fishing by myself pretty much the whole day, but from what I hear, other than Nick got one, and then everyone else, I don't know, it seems like they're skunking so far. So it seems like a tough bite right now, but shouldn't be long before the halibut bite really starts to pick up here once this water starts warming up. But once again, merch drop 2023. This is kind of like my second big merch drop that I did. And really, this one turned out way better than the last one did. Huge shout out to Chloe for the designs and everything. I think it really turned out amazing. And yeah, if you guys are interested, hoodies, hats, beanies, bumper stickers, rod sleeves, all linked down in the description. It's all on my website. Check it out. Get them while they last, because supply is really limited. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Another fun day on. Oh, also checked off March, the halibut challenge. We're 3 months in. We're 3 for 3 so far. Got to keep the ball rolling. Honestly, the next few months should be relatively easy. I don't want to jinx anything, but prime halibut season is, you know, spring, summer, and then maybe early fall. So anyways, well underway. We're on track. Hopefully keep the ball rolling next month. But for now, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.